Hi, this is Randy Randall of No Age and host of the podcast Hyphenate with Randy Randall. I want to welcome our newest sponsor of the show, DistroKid. DistroKid helps musicians get their music on all the major streaming platforms, and artists keep 100% of their royalties. Hyphenate listeners get 30% off at distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate. Again, that's distrokid.com/VIP/HYPHENATE. Go get your music streaming everywhere now.
I can't believe that the fine young men of Mudvayne would be so callous. Good morning. Happy President's Day, Monday, February 19th here on the Halftime Hyphenate.
All these presidents, we love them all. So
many presidents on a leap year and an election year. I think it was a full moon on a Friday the 13th. That's all we need for the trifecta.
Yeah, so a super wolf moon. So what kind of water situation are we going to talk about this week?
Right. So what did we have? We had
like hurricanes or.
Well, we almost had a tornado, right? Wasn't there a tornado in San Diego?
Oh, really?
It almost happened. That was some
San Diego got.
Yeah.
San Diego, like these storms seem to be wreaking havoc.
Yeah, I think you wreak havoc.
Like anywhere south of Long Beach seems to be just getting like pummeled.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's almost like that's where all the water goes. From up north, it just all kind of just floods down that way.
Well, and I was talking to Michelle about it, because she's a landscape architect.
She's smart.
And I'm like, what?
She knows these things. She's a professional.
Well, it just doesn't, it's not like when we lived in LA, there was always the time where it was like, here comes the torrential downpour, and you get like 4 or 5 inches of rain. Yep. It would happen every couple of years. And, everybody's stuff would flood, and the LA River, I've seen the LA River almost up to the bridges a couple times, but San Diego never seemed to flood back then. Like I never, and now it is. And a theory, I don't know if it's even a theory, but an idea is that because of so much new construction, that actually there's so much rain coming off of roofs because there's so many more new roofs and new concrete and new this and that.
Oh, I see.
That if you don't get 10 years of rain, but you have 10 years of construction, then you get these crazy downpours. Then all of a sudden, the where the water goes is so messed up that it just starts.
Because these used to be
it's the same amount.
Empty fields or like dirt that would just absorb the water.
Yeah, that would absorb it, or it would. Wow. Yeah, which I had never thought of the fact. And of course, this is her job, is to think of these things and to know and to be much, much smarter than my stupid brain. I'm like, are we sure that it's not some other government seeding the clouds over San Diego because we have military bases there? I don't know. That's where my brain went first.
I was going to go with aliens. I instantly go to aliens.
Or it could be roofs, more roofs. Oh. I guess
that makes a little too much sense.
Listen here, buzzkill.
Yeah, hey.
That's no fun. I can't write a blog post about roofs.
Well, that's amazing. How's your roof hanging in there? Is your roof good? Speaking of roofs are always.
Our roof is good, except for we did have the first time we've had any kind of roof leak. Oh, but it was so minimal that there was like 2 drops on the floor. Ooh, and we're like, we just thought it was walking in with someone with water on their coat or something. And then looked up and there's just a little tiny bit of water on one of the beams. And so we're like, ugh, okay.
It makes me so nervous.
Listen, we already have our closet floods every time we get too much. Oh my God. So we have that down. Like once that happens, so now here's Leo. Leo now is also.
You know what
I have to say about roofs?
Does Leo hate Mondays and eat lasagna?
Yes, yeah. He obviously eats lasagna. I can barely pick him up. He loves being fat. Amazing. He also just sits on the heater, and now so he'll put a because we have like those the floor vent heaters.
Okay.
And we now have like this little step stool that we have for the kitchen. And we put that above the heater, and he just sleeps on the step stool all day. He's the king of the house.
You set him up with the perfect spot.
Yeah, we don't want him to be sad or angry, because then he wakes us up at 3:30 in the morning.
He knows.
Whining.
He knows.
He gets up. Yeah, he gets up on Michelle's dresser, and we have like a piece of art up there, like a framed photo, and he puts his hand on the frame and just goes like this and hits it, so it goes kong, 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 kong.
Wake up, assholes.
For no reason.
Wake up.
Yeah,
oh no, there's a reason.
Like,
there's a reason, all right.
No, come up. No, he has food. He just wants me to watch him eat. It's very manipulative.
That's what he wants. Yeah. It's like, it's my house, bitch.
Yeah.
Watch me eat.
And then, so now I've got the thing where I get up and I walk halfway up the stairs, and he runs up the stairs and goes and starts eating before I realize I'm not up there. And then I go back and just lay down, go to bed. Those fun times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Cats are
man. What are you going to do?
Cats. Yeah. Just keep doing whatever they tell you to do. That's just don't resist. Just allow them to rule the house.
Oh wait, I do have a water question.
Oh, sure.
I realized with all this water happening. Is water considered intelligent?
Whoa.
Because
what are the signs of intelligence?
Well, because water is always like going. Are you asking Siri?
Yeah, exactly.
Siri, is water considered intelligent?
Yeah.
Because water is always having to find the easiest route down, or it finds little ways to get down, and it's probably the most destructive. I'd imagine it's the most destructive force of nature. Do you think water? It would have to be,
absolutely, right? It'll go through stone, it'll go through metal, it can go through anything. Yeah,
and it seeps through concrete. Like, that's the problem we have in our, like, when we get too much water, the water actually just completely seeps into the ground around the house, and then it starts seeping into the concrete because of a sealing issue that I'm going to fix this spring, I swear.
That's so funny.
But then it slowly seeps in, and then it seeps in, like, up underneath. And I'm like, God, water, it's very smart.
Yeah.
Water is no dummy.
Well, I just Googled what are the signs of intelligence, and it's a whole other rabbit hole, I feel like. It's like curious, highly creative, good thinking ability. You tend to worry about things. Excellent memory for details. Intuition. Being empathetic.
Interesting.
You contemplate the big questions. I don't know if this can apply to water. I was hoping I would get does water have a good sense of humor? Does it like to read books?
I mean, is it being run? Like, I guess water is kind of being run by gravity. So would gravity be the intelligence? I don't know. These questions are too.
Magnets. How do they work? I like this. Okay.
Yeah, could we write a song about this?
What is it?
Send it to Insane Clown Posse.
People also ask, how do I know if I'm intelligent? And it says, intelligence and curiosity go hand in hand. Intelligent people tend to be inquisitive, not only about everyday curiosities, but also about, quote unquote, the big questions, pondering philosophical topics like the meaning of life and the universe. Answering these questions, though, is another story. Oh, no.
The real question is, are you and I smarter than water?
Oh, no. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Water would kill me. I think of all the things that could kill me in life, water would be the first one I would blame. If I ever show up dead, I would definitely suspect water first.
Yeah. Have you ever been close to a water a bad water incident?
Within myself, I grew up with a dad who was a surfer, and he thought it was really funny when he would take me out on the board and push me in big waves. And then I'd watch the nose of the board, like, start purling, start going underwater, and I'd get launched, almost like a catapult into the waves, into the surf, and just get turned around in a washing machine, and have my sinuses cleared out and cough up water that's probably from about 4 to 8. I kind of grew up doing that. So I feel like I had some base level traumatic waterboarding memories. Yeah. I think my earliest memories are of drowning and with a dad laughing while I, try to grab onto his knee caps or like anything like the hem of his trunks to prevent from drowning. With salt water just burning my eyes, mouth, and nose and throat and everything, coughing it up. So I have a sort of early onset fear of drowning. Over the years, I've been pretty lucky though. I think I mostly just try to stay away from it. Because of all that stuff. I'll go do a little bit of swimming around, just jump in there, get my knees wet, and maybe dunk my head like once every couple of years. That's about as comfortable as I feel in the water.
Yeah, the ocean can be pretty scary. It can be pretty rough.
Yeah.
I think I had a couple of times where I was learning how to surf and went out into. By the way, I never learned.
Of course not. No.
I could surf a little bit only because I could snowboard, and so I could kind of get up and balance, but I never could. Whatever. I could not surf. But went out into waves that were that I kind of had no business being out in, and got tumbled the wrong way, like into the reef instead of into the other side, and then had to try to, swim out, and got like the time where there's like 5 waves coming and you just know you're going to have to duck all of them. And by the 4th one, you're like, oh my God, I don't know. What am I? Where am I? What am I doing?
Why am I?
Yeah. Why am I? Yeah. That time. But what I was going to say is that I was on a music video shoot once, right when I moved to LA, and I was PAing with the famous Chrisissippi.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And we were
future guest, I would imagine at some point. We got to have him on here.
Oh man. Oh, he's got some stories. He used to be on our radio show all the time. He actually used to call, he would get phone numbers from women in jail who wanted to like have a correspondence with people. Or no, letters. He would write letters back and forth, and then we'd have we'd read the letters on the radio show, God. And they were amazing. Anyway, he's got Chris has more stories than all of us combined. But
I met him when he first got to town. I worked at a skate shop in '99 on Melrose, and he just came in looking to check out skateboards. And we got to talking. Right, he just moved from Mississippi. He was working on the Coen Brothers movie. Yeah, just literally just showed up on the curbside. And I saw him there, and I was like, oh, I play music, I skate, all this stuff. He's like, I do too. And so we came back to the house. We lived there and off Melrose, and we hung out for months.
I don't think there's anyone who's better at making friends.
Oh my God.
Than Sippy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were on this job. We could actually talk about. We could do a pre-podcast.
Oh my God.
Hyphenate pre-time for Sippy's, and then see what he says on the podcast. That would be amazing. He
remembers what his take on it all is.
I would love it.
Oh my God.
I would love it. Well, we were on this, and it was a Mudvayne. Do you know that band?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mudvayne.
Sure.
Like technical metal face paint, the whole thing.
One of my favorite Veins bands.
Yeah.
The Mudvayne.
Yeah, the Mudvayne.
Yeah.
And they were shooting a video on the beach, and they had all the PAs. They had us put all of this medical equipment all over the beach. It was kind of like apocalyptic something. And then the waves started coming up and then slowly washing away these medical beds and stuff, and everything's floating out in the ocean. I mean, I think that was the theory. Oh. And then they realized very quickly how uncontrollable even a nice day at the beach is. And then they had this woman, a very old woman, who is old enough to maybe, I don't think she really said anything. She was in her 90s probably.
Oh my God.
And she was laying on the beach, and she was supposed to, I don't know.
Dying.
I don't know what she was doing, but probably almost. And so she is kind of in this hole in the sand, and they're and then the water's just going to come up, and and the water is coming up. And they're just try to stop some of the water with a sheet of plywood.
Nope.
They're what? You just stand with a sheet of plywood. It's just a little water.
Your job's to keep this 90-year-old woman alive whose head is sticking out of the ocean. Is she really buried? Is she buried up to her neck?
No, but she was kind of laying in a pit.
Okay.
I don't know.
God damn.
This was 25 24 years ago. And I was
those are the
being paid
days.
like $70, you know,
for a 14-hour day.
If like at the least.
Yeah.
Everyone quit after this video, by the way. But then, and yeah, the water, just like a set wave came in and was like, we're like, this is not gonna, and then it knocked the
plywood into her head.
Plywood almost went like kind of over her, and
God.
she got buried in the water. And I don't remember who came in and grabbed her out of the water. And I'm like, yeah, this is not happening. PAs should not be doing any of this.
Yeah.
There should be full stunt people, and what are we even doing here? Yeah. So anyway, the power of water.
Well, I can't believe that the fine young men of Mudvayne would be so callous as to not care for the
yeah, I think it was the production company. I don't want to blame the Mudvayne, the vein. I don't want to blame the vein.
Don't blame the vein.
Don't blame the vein.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
the bass player in that band was like an extreme like
person.
No, like an amazing jazz guy. Like he jazz bass.
Oh, okay.
Was out of control.
As well.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
That picture there with the. I think this is when they're older.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for the listeners at home. We are viewing some pictures of Mudvayne. Go ahead and do yourself a favor and just Google the words Mudvayne and
Mudvayne,
and you will come up with a jazz.
Remember them being very
the jazz musicians.
They were they were nice guys.
Yeah, they kind of look like Slipknot's sort of more melted cousin, right? Like
very much in the vein of Slipknot. Same time period,
Gotcha.
Like late 90s, early 2000, like 2000. This story was probably 2000 or 2001.
Wow.
But speaking of musicians,
speaking of Mudvayne, I'm going to go down a Mudvayne rabbit hole here. So Brian Chipendale,
used to play in Mudvayne.
Yeah,
tried out for Mudvayne. You'll hear it in the episode. It's amazing.
It's a thin line though, right, between Kiss or like Insane Clown Posse or Limp Bizkit, and then Lightning Bolt, because technically. They are it's a technical, musician, It's fast, loud, kind of heavy music.
Wears a mask.
With the masks, right? Yeah. And kind of almost a costume of sorts.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I guess we're, maybe I'm just a snob. Maybe I'm just a dick, I think. But I guess there's something that almost, there's something that equates, it feels like art school. Instead of Jim Rose sideshow. Yeah. Kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
like dressing up to kind of like build out these characters to sell records as opposed to like building out these characters to be a part of an art project where the characters make sense with the fans and with the art and with the. And you're definitely not trying to make music that is going to sell a lot of records necessarily.
So unlistenable music with less Halloween costume, more folk art, and unlistenable music with folk art kind of costumes, and
handmade
something. Yeah, there you go. That's the Lightning Bolt story. That'll be the blurb.
Yeah,
for the best of. Not quite Mudvayne.
No, not quite Mudvayne, but there are similarities.
I wonder though. Yeah, I never thought to ask Brian if they'd ever gotten asked to open up for any of these kind of crazier bands. I could see like a System of the Down or Red Hot Chili Peppers or something kind of insane. Probably asking them. To open up.
I'd imagine that those guys. I feel like this is going to be a weird turnaround, but I feel like that there's like a Mars Volta kind of thing where. Like the Mars Volta was the band that all of the huge bands loved. Like they would go
they would get open.
They would go out with like
Peppers,
Rage Against the Machine, or they would go out with like. I remember seeing them like when we first moved here and went to the what was it? The K-Rock Weenie Roast.
Oh yeah.
And this was this was at the drive-in. And at the drive-in was loved by like every band that played, you know, it was like No Doubt, and all of these other big bands were like, oh my God, I can't wait to see At the Drive-In. Like that, everybody said that on the mic, and they're like the band that all these other bands. And then when they played, I think all the other fans of the bands were like, wait, what? This band is like a totally different experience. I feel like Lightning Bolt would be that way for a lot of bands. They would hear them or see them play and go, oh my God, I wish I was in a band like that still.
Yeah. No,
I feel like there would be that vibe.
Totally. You know, I mean, it was around that same sort of time too. I think, you know, Lightning Bolt definitely were touring and active when At the Drive-In was touring and active.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to look up to see if they ever opened up for anybody. I'm not seeing anything there.
Yeah. And, I mean, we've talked about this now for a couple times, but that I saw them maybe 2 or 3 times, but then, when I saw them once in LA and went to the show, and again they set up on the floor right behind the band that played before them, which I remember it being Pink and Brown, but I could completely be wrong. But
could be right though. That could have been the time.
And we were looking at one band, and then all of a sudden that band stops, Lightning Bolt plays, and we look back, and like 10 feet behind us they're already set up, and we never saw them setting up.
It's like a magic trick, like a David Copperfield.
Totally.
Voila.
And they're twice as loud. They're twice as loud as whoever played before.
Yeah.
And it's just there's like no sonic.
PA. It's just their own amps.
His drumming never stops, and the bass kind of never stops. And I loved when he said in the interview that he pictures himself singing like Rihanna.
Right.
He's like, I have kind of like a Rihanna vibe. Like when I'm singing that, like that's what's in my head. That's how I'm singing.
That's amazing.
But I guess you could, like, I guess it is kind of high pitched.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it's so affected with distortion and everything that all it really sounds like is like, but really, like if you took all that away, he could be like, singing like Rihanna. Yeah. I don't know.
What was her song? Like a diamond in the sky.
It's just like, it's like just a little faster.
Yeah, I love it.
But then what I was going to say is that I had like a point and shoot, and I have, I don't know, maybe 10 frames of photos from that, like being right next to the drums, and
oh my God,
you're like holding the drums with my foot.
Oh God, yeah.
And then like someone else is holding the cymbal stand, and then someone is keeping people from knocking over the other Brian's rig, like all of the bass and everything. And then years later, when I went back to look at those photos, it was like 5 of people that I was friends with that I didn't know during that show. And I was like, oh my God, that's James. Oh, it's Chris. Oh, that's everybody. Oh, so-and-so. And I was like, before we ever knew each other. So it's one of those, I feel like those are those stories that like everybody has kind of like live Lightning Bolt stories.
You should try to find those pictures if you can. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, they're bringing dudes together.
A lot of dudes. You're right. Yeah, there's a dude kind of thing happening there.
But sensitive, sensitive dudes.
Yeah,
sensitive dudes that have a soft edge to them.
Yeah, some kind of arty. Like, it's definitely not an aggressive thing, but
Yeah, aggressive at times.
Yeah,
or like self-aggression, maybe.
Oh my God, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so we played with them. I remember. Yeah, we went. It was our first tour, and the band Before No Age, and we met up with them. I think in like New Orleans, and played with them at this insane like warehouse party in New Orleans. Where it's just so hot and just so just walking in, just standing there, you're just covered in sweat. But then you get like 300 people in this warehouse, and you're just melting. Yeah. And then we went out and got cheeseburgers or something, or French fries afterwards, and just we're talking with them. And I think we're all just super starstruck too. It was like, whoa, this is crazy. And it was our first, U.S. tour. And then we all went back to the venue and just like, had sleeping bags or not even sleeping bags or just whatever, and just like fell asleep with like in our sweat-soaked jeans and t-shirts, and just kind of all curled up on the floor or on the stage, and just got 6 hours of sleep. We had to drive the next day, and then I think we played with them again in Atlanta, and maybe one other show. I think we did like 3 shows with them on that tour.
That's amazing.
And Oh yeah, it was totally life-changing. It's one of those things to just be like, one of the bands that plays before them. So you see them all setting up, what's going to happen, but it's still like, this is just cool. This is just a fun thing to get to do.
You're as excited as everyone else to see them. Like, I can't wait to hit the last chord.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of like being the Washington Generals, like they are sort of the Harlem Globetrotters of noise duos.
Oh my God,
they're gonna win, but you're just so happy. It's never it's never a feeling of like, oh, we're gonna be the best band on this bill. You're like, oh no, we're gonna suck compared to this. And but the best part is no one cares. I think no one remembers any of the bands that played before him. It was just like, oh, and then this insane thing erupted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so amazing. Well, I loved when he talked about when they were starting, when he was starting to play music, and they drew straws for instruments, and he drew the short straw, so he had to play drums.
It's great, right?
I love it. Yeah, and it became like he's maybe one of the most insane drummers I've ever seen play. Yeah. I mean, like, just technically, but also just there's nobody else that plays drums like that at all. It's completely his own thing.
Yeah.
You could hear it from like 2 seconds. You could be like, oh, that's Brian.
Did you ever see Hella? They were a two-piece from Sacramento.
I've heard them. I haven't seen them play live.
Yeah, they were a guitar and bass. The drummer for that band, Zach Hill, was very much, I think they were
same way.
Yeah, kind of contemporaries of the time. Yeah. Kind of insanity.
It's amazing. When I love the two member band things, when you guys are both like, oh yeah, how many times did someone ask you if you were like, if it was the White Stripes that made you start a band?
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're like, that was after us, but yeah. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I know.
That's where we're going with this. Got it.
Yeah. No, I think it's a tough one. You know what I mean? I think if you're a 3-piece, everyone asks if you're Nirvana or Jimi Hendrix Experience or something, or that's just a more standardist thing. But or if you're a 5-piece, it's I guess there's still I think everyone's just looking for a hook, looking for something to write about. Like you're a duo. That's weird.
Yeah.
So let's talk about wacky duos.
You guys ever get in arguments?
Yes. Right now.
Yeah.
We're about to. But it was definitely, I was stoked because I think he also had a lot of great insight kind of on those early Fort Thunder days, and with Matt Brinkman, who obviously, I think it would be great maybe if next February, I can just kind of keep February the Providence month. We could do a part 2 next February 2025.
Yeah.
And talk to Brinkman, and who's an incredible kind of comic artist and sort of fine artist in his own right and printmaker. But it sounded like those two, when Chipendale and Brinkman got together, and Brinkman was sharing his like Japanese mixtapes. Did you catch that part of the story? I think that was a crucial piece of the puzzle, I think, to what defined those early sort of Providence, Rhode Island creative sort of bursts. They definitely like built on these boredoms and Merzbow, kind of these harsh Japanese noise from the earlier 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And I think the artwork and everything, just kind of this insanity of that, just was like building off of those ideas.
Totally. And I feel like it's always interesting because there's always those people. I'm not that person. I'm not the person that like finds new stuff and researches and gives it to people. I've never been that person, but I've always found myself in the same vicinity as those people and have been the curious enough one that people give me stuff. Mm-hmm. Or like, oh, you like that? Oh, you would love. And I had a friend in college who like gave me a Boredoms. I don't even know what it was at the time. A tape, maybe CD. I don't know. And I remember listening to the Boredoms and just going, I don't know. I don't know what this is. I can't. Like I had no.
It's undefinable, right?
No placement for it, and it was like sometimes kind of catchy, and then sometimes it would just go off the rails. And then, but he also gave me Nardwuar.
Oh, God.
Like a Nardwuar tape. And was like, how are you? I mean, I still try to think back then of like, how are people even finding this stuff? But I don't know. He would get stuff, or like Longmont Potion Castle.
Oh my God.
Remember Longmont tape?
Yeah.
And
Pickled Potato. It would, Longmont. What was Longmont? That was oh my God. Yeah,
what
it was
was
so
it?
good. But it was always,
Anyway,
yeah,
those things would like float around, and then you'd always have the person that had them all. Like, oh, you don't have the Longmont tapes? Oh, yeah, I'll make you a Longmont tape. Yeah, sure. But that's so important. Like those people that are like the kind of, I guess you would call it a curator, like a miniature cultural curator for your group of people.
Yeah.
That there's always the person, man or woman, or non-binary, that gathers all of the interesting stuff and is able to like get all the stuff that you think you like, and they're like, no, you don't like that. This is what you're gonna like. Here's the real version of that thing that you think is good. Here's the better version. And if you allow yourself to open up to those type of people, I feel like that's the holy grail.
Yeah.
Like you find one or two of those people and just go, oh my God, yeah. What are you up to now? Oh, well, I'm getting into architecture. Oh, really? What do you think about architecture? Well, here's this book that is from 1962, and I don't know. I find that fascinating. So it's amazing to hear him. And he was like, yeah, I was just kind of like listening to Metallica and whatever before that. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. They're totally just I think it's that age too. I think somewhere between, 15 and 25 or, 28.
Yeah.
You're just really wide open. Like, what is this? What is that? Like, I might be discover my new favorite band. You get past a certain age. You're like, nope, the gate's closed. I have no more new favorite bands.
This is just you. Is this just you, Randy?
Is it just me?
I still love that.
Oh my God.
I just push random on like even on Spotify and stuff. I'm like, you might like this. I'm like, I bet I will. Click.
Oh, I wish.
And I'm like, I do. Let me fast forward to the next one. Let me find a band that I've never heard of before. We found a band.
I wish I could.
It helps because Lila's really into music, and so she'll find stuff. What did I play the other day? I randomly put on Cocteau Twins, who I never really listened to, but someone mentioned them, and I'm like, I guess I should listen to that record. And Lila's like, I love this record, Cocteau Twins.
Amazing.
Like, you know Cocteau Twins? But she's like, yeah, I listened to it on whatever. She was like listening to Herbie Hancock the other day.
Oh, that's great. But I feel like I can. So I'll say I can discover older music still. I think I can still. I hold a space in my heart, in my mind for well, these were records that came before. Okay, I'm going to give them a pass. I just feel like the newer. I don't know. Maybe I think it definitely has something to do with just the years of making records and touring. I really just burned out. I'm like some kind of weird like music 100%. Junkie that I just like burned out so much of my stuff. Like I can keep a spot in my sort of creative psyche and heart for my own sort of music. It's like I have to just kind of defend my own children, but I can't take care of everybody's children. Like there's too many out of control, unbehaved children in the world at this very moment. So I can take responsibility for the music and the children that I put out in the world. Yeah. But to have to listen to other people's music right now that's contemporary and really give it any kind of like time or validation is just like, I don't know. I don't mean to be such a hater. I mean, I lie and tell people I love their bands all the time when I see them. Yeah. But I don't know if I'm able to.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean, I love every band that we've ever played with. I love your band. Every band that I'm going to play with in the future, I very much love your band. You're my favorite band.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I can appreciate music. I think I just don't, I guess I'm not looking for it. I don't know why.
Yeah. I totally understand. I mean, I think, but I think what happens too with Lila will, like she listens to this guy, Alex G. Have you heard of him?
No.
But I guess he's been around for a little bit. I don't know. But anyway, I'm like, oh, it sounds like Modest Mouse, or it sounds like sounds like late 90s, early 2000s kind of Northwest.
And what do you do?
Emo, but not emo.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll be like, oh, have you ever heard Blonde Redhead? Or have you ever heard Modest Mouse? Or have you ever heard whatever? And she'll be like, yeah, Dad, of course. I listen to all that stuff.
But she likes this guy.
I'm like,
this
guy's
younger,
yeah, you know what?
Age.
Yeah, totally. And it makes sense. But she's like, Dad, I found this band. And it was some band. She's like, they don't even have 1,000 likes yet.
Ooh,
and it was like a big deal.
That's the thing. So
I don't know.
I
was like, how'd you find it? She's like, I don't know. I was just kind of looking around at bands I like and found this one. I clicked on it. And yeah, it was a good song. It was like some band from like Eagle Rock or something.
Oh, that's great.
And we tried to look them up. I'm like, they don't even have a webpage. I'm like,
Nice.
oh, I guess you find things.
Very mysterious.
It's like young kids, all these young kids talking, making songs, making music.
That sounds exciting though. For some reason, that sounds like something
totally
I'd love
exciting
to hear about. Or
I think it's awesome. She brings me songs all the time.
I know. I should say I'm not devoid of it. I think I'm my heart is open. My chakras are aligned. My third eye is looking for new and interesting music. I just think it hurts so bad to hear.
You just don't believe there is any new and interesting music.
No. I think it's possible. I think it is. I hold out hope. I just don't think I don't fall in love as easily. You know what I mean? I'm definitely an old soul who's loved a lot of bands very passionately for a long time. It would take a lot to stir the cockles of my heart.
Yeah.
But I also really get something going. You know.
I also can just listen to things just to listen to them. I don't get annoyed super easy. So
that's good.
I can, like, I used to listen to this show, this producer. I like a lot of hip hop stuff. And so I listened to this guy called Kenny Beats. You ever heard of him?
No.
It's a big producer guy, but he used to do this show every week where it's like a live show on Twitch or some streaming show, and he would put up a sample, and then you'd have to sign in, and all these kids have like an hour to make a beat and then put it up, and then at the end of the hour, the 10 with the most votes, they play them, and then he kind of like roasts them or whatever. I could listen to that for every day, all day, my whole life. Things I've never heard before, like 13-year-olds playing beats in their room and like presenting them and then just getting either trashed or like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I'm in that school of like, I also just like listening to new stuff, whether it's good or not. I also sometimes realize that
you're
like,
a good
it's
father.
like radio. It's like radio static. It's like radio static for like 15 seconds or like changing radio. And I don't even notice. I'm like in somewhere else. So, so whether I'm even listening to the new music or not, I'm like really catching a vibe, Randy. Really what I'm into.
Just out there. I'm
just really catching a vibe, man.
Just you get your drip on, get some Riz going, and just catch a vibe, ride a wave.
Yeah.
See where it takes you.
I'm really going for the Riz. I'm really trying to go against my ops, like just to destroy my ops, and I'm getting my Riz up, and that's kind of it. I'm just catching a vibe, it's a vibe.
Yeah, I love that your kids are definitely the generation next, ahead of mine. So I feel like I'm still in the like, one child just wants to hear fart music. Just everything with farts in it, and the other one has fallen in love with this one band, and we just listen to every single song. Every time he gets the phone, it's just this one band. And
I know the band. I know what band it's going to be. Yeah. I know what band it's going to be. Can I guess?
Well, have we talked about this? I don't even know if I want to out them. I feel like I need to like.
I feel like we may have even gone to see them.
Oh my God. Did we already talk about this already? I forget if I even told you what it was.
Maybe because it popped. A certain band popped into my head, so maybe you already told me.
Okay, yeah.
We don't have to divulge. Maybe people can guess.
Yeah, I'll keep it secret.
People can guess. So it's a band you don't really want to talk about necessarily.
So I have one band and then fart music. So I think most of my time, and then I'm not allowed to pick out any music. The second I try, like even propose the idea, like I have a, not small record collection that I've spent years curating, traveling around, and nothing. I'm definitely not I'm not a nerd. I don't have good stuff or first pressings of things, but I have records I like.
Yeah, and you know a lot of stuff.
It depresses me, so I've put them out on display because I hated not having them out, and now they're there, and they have a record player, and I have the speakers, I have a decent receiver, I have the whole setup, and the second I put something on, the kids just like lose their minds and will rebel. They can tell like I'm deriving joy from something that is not them, and they just instantly like want to break that.
Yeah, they're just like
I must put that away. So I know one day I will be allowed to experience joy from music again. But many life experiences have put me have put me in my place of just shut up and smile, Dad.
Have you ever thought of? Have you ever thought of going the opposite and saying the bands that you hate are actually the bands that you love, and then trying to really push really bad music to them. So then they rebel and they're like, I wish this was Fugazi. And you're like, it worked.
Oh my God. I can't, I'm too tired. This is three-dimensional chess.
Too much.
Three-dimensional chess. I just can't even at this point, I'm just go, hey kids, look, there's the school. Yeah. You guys got to leave.
7-year-old always wins.
Everybody out of the car. Look at that. Oh, hey, what do you know? The radio stopped working. Like, no, just turn it back on. No, it's not working right now. I don't know what happened.
It's weird. We don't have the internet.
Yeah.
There's no streaming.
Streaming went down. Sorry, guys. I don't know. We're just going to sit here in silence for a little while. Dad just needs some silence.
I drove the other day, decidedly not putting on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
For 20 minutes.
It's a beautiful thing.
It was weird. I realized that I hadn't done that in years, probably. And just sitting there and going, I remember having like a tape in like a car and then going, I'm sick of this tape, and just turning it off and being in silence for a little bit. And then it just really made me think of like, it hasn't been that long that we've been completely like
ensconced in sound 24/7.
In sound or video or anything. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
Like 20 years.
I brought
30 years.
I brought a magazine into the bathroom with me. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. This was great.
It's weird.
I feel like I grew up, I had two older brothers who were like 11 years older than me, 10 and 11 years older. And we just had stacks. They were like the bathroom reading material. It was like the bathroom library. We had like stacks of skateboarding, surfer, whatever, surf magazines, all these different things. Like they were just there for like months, years. And they were just, and a new one would go on top of it. The bottom ones would all get kind of water damaged or like moldy and crusty. And then just new magazines would go on top of it. And then maybe at some point my mom would just throw them all away in the trash. But there was this constant, like, there was always magazines in the bathroom.
Or like a joke book.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There's always a joke book. Like, ooh, I have to learn some jokes.
But that's definitely a thing of the past.
Well, that's what we were trying for our class. One of the projects that we were going to do is like a portrait, like shading, learn how to shade faces. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, usually I bring in like a stack of magazines of like celebrities, of like People magazine and stuff that has big faces.
Yeah.
And but he's like, I don't have any. Do you have any? No, I don't have any. And so they put like an email out and like no one responded.
Does anybody have like celebrity magazines?
Like, no magazines.
Doctors' offices? Used to have magazines.
It's like a whole, I guess so. Yeah.
Hairstyling places, or barber shops or like, no, nothing.
Yeah. Our dentist office has had the same 3 magazines on the table for 6 months. I noticed last time we went in, I was like, that's from June.
Wow. It's good to know Celia Ward won an Emmy. This is great.
I was gonna say that I realized the difference. There is a clue to the difference of Mudvayne and let's close to bring it back.
Let's close that tab. Yeah.
There's a clue to what the difference of Mudvayne and Lightning Bolt is when Brian, because this is actually one of the best.
What's the difference?
What's the difference between
hamburger
a Mudvayne? Yeah. What's the difference between a Mudvayne and a Lightning Bolt? But that one of the best things when he was talking about his art was that he loves the process. He likes putting his artwork through all of these different processes, so it slowly either kind of ruins it or puts like a randomness into it, or puts something that's not that was unexpected, and it puts it through this process. So by the time that he gets to this final the final stage of the artwork, that it's gone through its own journey that he kind of put it through. Like he put the work through a journey. Yeah. Now my cat is sitting here. He's like, yeah,
like me. I'm going to do third journey.
But that's the difference. Like Lightning Bolt has this process that it seems like all those songs went through some crazy journey, and it was not set up in some really clean, structured way to be this thing that was going to be done at the end, and we're going to know exactly what it's going to sound like. That they just put the whole thing through a journey, and then it has to do with the journey of the music and the sound and the effects, but also the artwork, and how the artwork, he even kept talking about that first record as, well, you know, the yellow record. It's like, well, we did the yellow record first, and to think of it as that is like you're thinking of it as like an artwork.
Yeah. Well, it's an expression. It's a process.
Yeah.
Almost, you know, like a Jackson Pollock painting is just the result of an action. And so just all you can see is the thing that happened afterwards. It's almost like the records are similar to that. Like this is the results. It's the music that was recorded based on the performance of them playing, but they're not really written out as like 3.5 minute pop songs with a chorus and a verse and a repeating thing and a hook. And, you know,
And I think that's the thing that Joel said too, when he was just talking about when he realized when he kind of changed his style of artwork, that it became more about, or the journey of making the actual piece and what he went through to make the piece and come up with the idea and finish it is as important as the final piece. And like that whole journey was what what was like the importance of it, or like put a soul in it or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely gets into this abstract art kind of world of.
And I never thought of Fort Thunder being a place that housed lightning bolts. I never put those two things together. He's like, well, it's called Fort Thunder, you know, because we were Lightning Bolt, and so he just named it Fort Thunder because that's where lightning bolts are. Like, oh my God, of course it is.
That's where Lightning Bolt lives, at Fort Thunder.
Lightning Bolt lives at Fort Thunder. Of course it does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I mean, another thing I forgot to bring up with Brian too, but he has an amazing solo thing he does called Black Puss, which is really cool. It just basically sounds like one half of Lightning Bolt, just the drums and voice and stuff, whether he has other loops and things going too. This is incredible.
Did you ever watch his Instagram lives, like during the pandemic?
Yeah. No, I definitely tuned in for some.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we played with Brian solo a few times too.
Oh, did you?
Stuff. Yeah, it's great. It's insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just see, like, I feel like it must have been on Instagram. He'd pop up and you click it and he's just like there with his drums and his stuff. And it's like, and it's like, this says it's been going for 27 minutes. Oh my God, I just came into the 27th minute. Oh my God, it's amazing.
It's like it just gets shot out of a cannon every 10 seconds.
But I feel like also he just started a Patreon.
Oh yeah.
That I don't think, I just remembered that too, that it popped up and that he was asking questions. He was like asking other artists and musicians, like what kind of different things they're doing online to kind of keep people engaged and finding ways for him to kind of keep making artwork and selling comics and stuff. Incredible. And so I think
I've wanted to buy a piece for so long, and I think it was during the pandemic he was selling stuff for relatively affordable prices. But I was I was also like in the depths of like poverty myself. I was like, I wish that'd be so much fun to spend $100 and get this amazing cool piece. But I was also like, oh my God, I need that $100 right now. I can't. Do it.
Yeah, his stuff's amazing. But I think, and so I believe that he just started a Patreon, maybe even like just a couple of weeks ago.
Amazing. Well, anybody that's listening to this, definitely go check out Brian Chipendale's Patreon. Go check out Lightning Bolt Records if you don't already have them. But yeah, support these guys.
And play it loud if you're young and your parents are in the house.
I know. I feel like I should.
If it's too loud, you're too old.
I feel like I should make a reaction video of me playing Lightning Bolt for my kids.
Yeah,
just them like how like within milliseconds, like there's no farts in this, Dad.
Well, I'll pull up like dropping Lila off for high school, and she'll open the door, and then every once in a while I'll just blast the music, like whatever is on. It'll be like Lightning Bolt or something. She's like, Dad, seriously, turn it down. Come on. Seriously, turn it down. Turn it down. I'm like, no, this is cool. Everyone's going to think I'm cool. They're like, they are not going to think you're cool. They're not. They're going to think you're crazy. I'm like, I know, but that's
the cool part.
That's cool. That's the cool part.
Yeah.
You want
buying you cool points here, babe.
Yeah, you don't want everybody to think they know who I am. Come on,
they know who you are.
Yeah,
you're Lila's dad. You were the guy that had all the
little loud radio guy.
Yeah,
yeah, funny.
So cool. All right, well, we will wish everybody a happy President's Day. Go out there, support your favorite president, and make sure you're all registered to vote in this next election, and do whatever the fuck you're supposed to do for that. Because
Support the president of your local union, maybe? Is that those kind of presidents?
Just all presidents. I think
president.
I think you're supposed to buy a mattress today is what's actually really supposed to happen.
Oh, that's right.
Make sure you go.
And get a deal on a brand new car.
And Abraham Lincoln.
4.5% financing.
Abraham Lincoln wants you to get a new mattress and a new Toyota.
Because nothing else mattress.
That's it.
Nothing
really mattress. Anyone can see. All right. Have a good one. We will see you next time.